So, just curious, what's your opinion on spiders?
Get back, you eight-legged freak!
Yeah, that's not surprising. Recently, Sting was in theaters.
Now we have to deal with this together.
And then there's Infested, which just dropped on Shudder. So, which is better? Which should you watch first? Which is scarier? Which is less French? Which will make you want to wish every kind of bug was wiped off the face of the earth by some epic act of God?
Miss Clifton! Miss Clifton! Miss Clifton! Miss Clifton! Miss Clifton!
Mrs. Griffin.
No!
Don't worry, I'll keep the spoilers light as we dissect both and find out which one is for you. Let's grow a few extra limbs, get some fangs, and start pulling white sticky stuff out of our asses. Wait, what? Let's start with Sting first. Sting is an American spider horror movie where an alien spider crashes into a POS apartment complex. The movie starts with a little spider crawling through a dollhouse to kind of foreshadow what's going to happen in the movie, which I really liked. Kind of reminds me of the haunted dollhouse story in the Creepshow TV show. If you haven't already, you should give that show a watch. Some of the stories are pretty good and fun. The story focuses on Charlotte, a young girl who has a pretty cool imagination. She has a comic book series that her stepdad Ethan illustrates. Her mom also, I think, is in the same kind of work, but does it more regularly for another company. Charlotte is pining for more attention since her new half-brother was born. They also have a grandma on the mom's side with dementia and her very German sister, who is the landlord of the place, and she's just kind of a cheap bitch. We also got some other colorful neighbors like an Asian biology student, a hot Hispanic who recently lost her entire family.
Damn you, Roger. Roger.
A few other characters come into play, but I'll leave them out to not reveal too much. Ethan is having a hard time dealing with all of the demands of fixing everything up that goes wrong in the building and trying to get a better job that pays well. Charlotte, during all of their family struggles, finds a friend in a spider. But the more she learns about this little creepy crawly, the more dangerous it becomes that she just kinda ignores. And that's Sting. Let's move on to Infested. Infested is a French spider horror movie where a younger guy, Caleb, is living as a bit of an independent black market dealer. He prefers selling shoes. He also has a taste for exotic animals. His room is full of them. He recently visits a local gas station to try to buy some nicer jewelry, and he also wants access to the back room for the better stuff and get another exotic bug for his collection. Fucking what? Gas stations in France are wild. So he gets a new pet spider and keeps it in a shoebox till he can get a new cage. Meanwhile, his sis along with some friends are renovating their apartment. There are a few other random characters here and there and are mostly there to create a sense of community with everyone in the building. They want us to know that everyone in this building has a relationship with each other. Once Caleb's spider gets out of the shoebox, everyone in the building is in for one wild night. Alright, 2 spider movies, both in shithole apartment complexes. One speaks American and the other speaks nonsense gibberish. Come at me, France. Let's do a double autopsy and see how many legs we're dealing with. The good of Sting. Sting has fun characters. I like the little girl Charlotte. I definitely add her onto the list of future Scream Queens, along with the girl in Abigail and the girl in Late Night with the Devil. I liked her relationship with her family members and her pet, and how they both progressed with the story. I liked the monster, the practical effects were nice and fun. I legit did jump a few times. Not super hard to pull off. Spiders are inherently pretty freaky. This movie is more of a fun monster movie. Lots of blood and plenty of shock value when bodies start turning up. I especially liked the ending. I'll admit I got a little choked up with one of the heartwarming moments. The bad. Well, the movie does one of those time jumps where it kind of starts in the middle of the movie and then jumps back to give us the beginning. Normally, I do shit on these kinds of intros, but for some reason it didn't bother me, especially while watching the movie. I realized that it wasn't actually the ending, it was actually the middle, which is much better than an ending that goes back to the beginning. Throwing shade at you, X.
Into a world
Sure.
of sin. I hope
You ought to come take a look at this.
But yeah, I can't really knock this flick because it is an alien spider, so right out the gate my mind is open to it being able to do pretty much anything. Now let's move on to Infested, the good. Infested has good, likable characters. The main character, Caleb, does deal in black market stuff, but he does set high standards for himself, and he genuinely loves animals and the community that he is a part of. His friends and family members also have likable traits and do have moments of tough love and genuine care for each other. They are also fighters, which is always something to like, but there's only so much you can do against the tide.
Guys, go!
Character-wise, some of them seem very immature, and I think it makes sense because these are probably a bunch of fresh out of high school kids. Don't have the greatest upbringing or structure in their life. It may seem annoying at times, but I think it fits with who they are supposed to be playing. The spiders in this movie are very scary because there are hundreds of them. They do vary in size, which always increases the scare factor. This movie is much more like arachnophobia. They're more realistic spiders, to an extent, and you are dealing with a clutter or cluster of spiders, which are actual terms to describe a group of spiders.
It's great to learn.
Because knowledge is power!
The bad. These are supposed to be pretty normal spiders. I mean, they are very exotic, but they multiply and grow at a rate that is pretty supernatural. Like, no regular spider would be able to reproduce or grow like this in the wild. At least in Arachnophobia, they explained that this insanely rare spider mated with a bunch of regular house spiders, but there is no such explanation like this in this flick. It all stems from one spider. And it all takes place very quickly. In Arachnophobia and in Sting, the story takes place over several days. In this one, you don't really get that kind of a feel when it comes to like how long the story actually is going in the movie. One more thing is the ending. I can't go too much into the ending, but it makes you think one way and then literally the next scene flips the previous one on its head like, wait, what is supposed to be happening?
Huh?
I promise it makes more sense if you actually see the flick. So we got the good, the bad, the English, and the French. Which is the spider horror movie you should watch next? Drum roll, please. You should watch both.
What?
Oh, come on!
I know that sounds like cheating, but hear me out. They may be similar movies, but the differences are significant enough that they could easily divide people. Sting is in English. It's more of a fun, practical effects monster movie and has more humor in it. Infested is in subtitles, and it's a more serious spider infestation film that'll get you in the feels from time to time. And that's the easiest way to sum up these movies and have you pick which you want to watch. If you want to listen and laugh to spiders killing people, watch Sting. If you want to read and cower behind your waifu pillow while spiders are crawling out of people's bodies, watch Infested. You know what? Fuck that. Watch both. You want to know why? Because they are both good movies. And at 7 Feet Under, what I say you watch, you will fucking watch, or my name isn't...
Yes, that's it.
What?
Watch both, keep it spooky, and make sure you look before you eat your popcorn.
Bye,